following Four Aces production is for mature audiences only. Listener discretion is highly advised.
Kicking back on this summer breeze. Welcome to Double K's Classroom. Class is officially in session.
Hey, and welcome y'all to this week's edition of Double K's Classroom, my NBA Playoffs edition 2018, where we're going to take a look today at the second round and the beginning of the conference finals. The second round matchups this year, or this past week, were kind of boring. Like, the first round was pretty good. You had a couple 7-game series. I believe Indiana went 7, Washington and Toronto went 7, and then there was like one series in the Western Conference that went 6-7 games. I believe it was the Utah Oklahoma City series that went 7 games. This round wasn't so much. You had the Rockets and the Jazz. I believe they went 5 games. The Rockets ended up winning that matchup 4-1, which will put them in the conference finals that I'll talk about after the break. And then what else? And then you got and then you had the Warriors and the Pelicans, which everybody thought was going to be a 6-7 game series, and the Pelicans were barely able to get one game out of the Warriors, setting up a conference finals that everybody knew was coming between the Warriors and the Rockets. But on the Eastern side, you had LeBron and the Cavs, who made Toronto just look silly. After Toronto spent so much time talking about how they were ready for LeBron and this time they were going to get it done and so on and so forth, you had a team that just really didn't. They didn't show up at all. And because of that, they were booted right on out of the playoffs. Like, and I mean unceremoniously booted right on out of the playoffs. Like 4-0, and Cleveland won each game by at least like 5-10 points. So the King is proving that he can definitely drag a bunch of ragtags kicking and screaming to at least the Eastern Conference Finals. But I'll tell you this, I thought he was going to lose here, and I'll tell you why when we get back from break. I still think I'm correct. But the King and his court decided to are going to end up meeting up against the Boston Celtics, because the Boston Celtics were able to knock out the Philadelphia 76ers in what had to be one of the biggest upsets of this playoffs. People think it was that the biggest upset was, who was it? Was Oklahoma City losing to Utah. But if you look back at that series and you look at Utah as a whole, Utah's been playing well for a while now, and they've always been a good defensive team. So they were just able to shut down a team that really wasn't that strong other than on the offensive end in the first place. So looking at it like that, Utah really wasn't that much of a surprise. But Philly losing to Boston was. Not because Boston's not a good team, but because Boston is undermanned. Right now, Boston is their only major star is Al Horford. Jason Tatum and Brown are both becoming stars, and same thing with Rozier and Marcus Smart. Both are becoming stars, and they're playing hard, and their key factor to why they keep winning is because they play defense, and they play damn good defense. So here's a lesson to the kids in the future: if you wanna win a championship, focus more on the defensive end. The offensive end will come to you. If you practice enough, you're shot enough. But defense is not taught. It's something that you either know how to play and you have that ferocity, or you don't. And because of that, Boston is really mollywopping people. Philly came in with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid and two people that should have been able to run the house and wreck shop on this Boston team, and they just weren't able to. Ben Simmons really didn't start going until, I believe Boston closed them out in Game 6. Cleveland, Boston or Philly came in with Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, talking about possibly the best 1-2 punch since Kobe, Shaq, or James Worthy and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and getting all this hype. And they got, like I said, before they knew it, they were down 3-0. They lost the first 3 games. They won 1, and then they went back and lost again. Sorry. They won 1 to stay alive and then lost the next game. So sorry. Boston, Houston, and Golden State all 1-5. Cleveland 1-4. Now some would say, "Hey, look at this! That's proof that the Cavs are better than everybody else." No, it's not. Look at who the Cavs face. Somebody that shrinks. They have nobody that can even come close to matching LeBron. I've tried to tell people this on multiple occasions. Everybody's like, "Oh, you gotta figure out how to stop LeBron." No, you don't. You don't have to figure out how to stop LeBron. You got to figure out how to contain LeBron or match his scoring. That's how the Warriors were able to run all over the Cavs last year. LeBron James may have averaged a triple-double with 28, 29 points a game, but KD averaged 35. So he effectively canceled out all of LeBron's scoring and allowed Clay, Steph, and Draymond to do their thing, put up their points, and get the win by outplaying the rest of the Cavs team, Kyrie included. Now, don't get me started on how this Boston LeBron series really should be Kyrie versus LeBron, but it's not. You got Kyrie hurt. You got Gordon Hayward hurt. So it's not going to be. But that would have been an interesting series. But Boston should be a better team, an even better team next year coming into the season with both their top generals in place. So I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there just so we can take a quick commercial break, listen to a couple commercials. I'll be back in about 2.5 minutes, and we'll get to talking some conference championships and how I think these two matchups between the Warriors and Rockets and the Cavs and Celtics are going to go, which is pretty much a replay of last year's conference finals, I believe. But that's it. You're listening to Double K's Classroom right here, special NBA playoffs edition, right here on the 4 Aces Network, Spreaker.com. Peace.
All right, folks. Now let me tell you a little bit about where 4 Aces stretches beyond just Spreaker.com and our radio shows here, the plethora of radio shows and different voices that you hear here. We also have our hands out there in the world of video blogs with the Raw Impact Unleashed, as well as Double K's Classroom blog, the West Coast Bias .blogspot.com is one of our first video blogs, as well as the Raw Impact Unleashed blog, .blogspot.com, which is another one of our video blogs, as well as our fan pages, which are updated almost every other day to every day for the Raw Impact Unleashed, Planet of Coal, Double K's Classroom, 4Aces Presents in general, and also Now vs. Then and Now vs. Then West. You can find Facebook fan pages for all your favorite 4Aces shows, as well as you can find us on YouTube now, where you can see the first 3 episodes of the 4Aces Presents web series, produced by one and only Saint, out there killing it, getting the killer interviews. So keep listening in. We get a couple of new episodes about every month to every other month. So it's a great watch. I've starred in a couple of the episodes. We have great bands and great artists, as well as great hosts from Crazy Chick Productions and SE from Dirty Talk 101. So guys, keep checking us out. We're constantly expanding, and this world of 4Aces Presents is constantly getting better. Peace.
Yo, what's up? It's your boy Cole from the Raw Impact Unleashed and Planet of Coal. Just throwing out there the lineup for the weekend for 4Aces Presents here on Spreaker.com. Fridays we got Raporia Presents, or Raporia Presents, 2 p.m. 4 p.m. Pacific. All these are Pacific Standard Times. Now versus Then Deuce from 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. That is going to be a monthly show. We also have Revolving Door Fridays with K Double's Classroom, or Double K's Classroom, also splitting it up with Planet of Coal. Those shows are from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Saturday we got WTF from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. And also on Saturday we have the Troll Gazer Gaming Project featuring James Brower from 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And on Sunday we cap off the week with West Coast Bias from 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. And remember, all these are Pacific Standard Time. So check all these shows out and holla at your boy. Y'all take it easy.
All right, so those are some old commercials. Like Troll Gazer Gaming is no longer with us. Most of those shows aren't. Your Friday to your lineup for this week there'll be an episode of MBT Deuce at some point this week. We'll have the midnight run on, I believe, Thursday night or Wednesday night. No, Thursday night. We'll have Lip Gloss and Mike's Kings of Porn on the late night tip throughout this week. And then we'll also have FU Wrestling Podcast Friday live at 7, followed by Double K's Classroom, where this week I'm going to be discussing Major League Baseball and the NHL playoffs. And then late night Friday night, starting at 9 o'clock, you're going to have Planet of Coal, Blues, Rock, and Coal. With your boy Cole, so be sure to listen into that Friday night lineup. We got Mr. Deacon on Saturday, and then we've got Brick House on Sundays, Lip Gloss and Mike's, and this particular Sunday we will have edition of West Coast Bias, so be sure to listen in for that. It'll either be myself, Double K, O'Malley, and Abdul, and the Duel, or it'll be Marcus Donald from the Mr. Deacon Experience, O'Malley and the Duel. So we'll see how that one plays out. Keep listening in. All right, so just to wrap this up here, we've got the conference finals started yesterday with the Cavs and Celtics, and the Cavs just look lost. I don't necessarily know if there's anything that they can do about it, but they look lost out there. They truly did. Against the Celtics team. Celtics team was playing amazing defense. I believe the Cavs only scored like 40-something points in the first half. People are like, oh, that's not going to happen with LeBron James on the team. I don't think they may have a choice in the matter. If Celtics take both games at home, like it could be the end of LeBron's streak. Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you right now, if they do take both games at home, the Celtics, then it most likely is the end of LeBron's streak. Because I just don't see this Cavs team being good enough to be able to overcome a 2-0 deficit, even with LeBron playing as good as he can play. So keep an eye out for that. I know I will be. You should too. But I have this weird feeling that it's going to be the Boston Celtics without Kyrie and without Gordon Hayward and Kyrie Irving. Yeah, they're going to end up making it to the finals against either the Warriors or the Rockets. Now I saved this one for last because of the fact that I like this series. Like, this is the series we want. This is a series. The Warriors are finally fully healthy. The Rockets are fully healthy. The Rockets have only lost like 2 games since when fully healthy. So, like, yeah, this should make for an interesting series. This Warriors lineup is solid. Every game against the Rockets was a close one, including a buzzer beater. A close game that came down to a buzzer beater at the beginning of the season. So this matchup is going to be very, very fun to watch. I believe this series is probably going to go 5 or 6 games. But they play game 1 tonight at Houston. It's one of the first series in a long time that the Golden State Warriors have come out, came and started a series on the road. Most of their series they've started in Oracle. So this will be interesting to see, because I believe if the Warriors can grab one, if not both of those games in Houston, that they can take control of the series and take control of Houston mentally. And if they can do that, then that means that this series is going to be fun, and the Warriors may be on their way to a 4th consecutive NBA championship or NBA finals, and hopefully a 2nd consecutive NBA championship, because Boston will be a threat. Cleveland's going to get mollywopped. So whoever comes out of the West, though, is most likely winning the title, whether it be Houston or Golden State. I'm not going to sit here and specifically say Golden State. I'll give my predictions now. I think it's going to be Boston and Golden State in the finals, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's Houston and Boston, but I just don't think the Cavs are going to factor in as much as everybody wants them to factor in. So let me, and now with all that said, let me jump to one last subject before I go. The LeBron versus Jordan debate, it needs to be over. And not because LeBron's not as physical of a player, not as good of a player physically, so on and so forth. LeBron's a damn good player. Best of his generation by far, solid player, good all-around player, can defend all 5 positions when he wants to defend all 5 positions. But skill-wise, he's almost better than just about anybody we've seen before, including Michael Jordan. I can understand that. If you're just talking about basic skills, then yeah, LeBron's got it better than Jordan. But Jordan didn't also have all these chambers and all this stuff available to him to elongate his career the way LeBron and these athletes do today. So that being said, Jordan's career was a lot shorter. But I'm going to tell you one quick thing before I let you guys all go. That is my favorite subject to throw out there, or favorite thing to throw out there. A LeBron fan's favorite thing to say is that Jordan won all 6 of his titles with squad. Basically, he won all 6 of his. When you're talking about his finals record, Jordan won all 6 with the squad, which is a lie. The first 3, they only really had. The only all-stars on the team were Scottie Pippen and Michael Jordan. Everybody else was role players. So it's kind of like LeBron is right now with K-Love and him, and then everybody else is role players. So let's say Jordan did go with squad all 6 years. Okay, he went 6-0 in those 6 years. Never saw Game 7 and went and won all 6 matchups. LeBron, on the other hand, I take away 2007 because he dragged that team kicking and screaming to the finals, and I take away 2015, the team without Kevin Love and without Kyrie Irving that they faced the Warriors the first time around. I take away those 2 years. So that means there's 6 years left of LeBron going to the finals. Okay, so he went to the finals for 8 years. 6 years left. All 6 of those years, he went with a completely healthy team, fully squadded up. In 2011, he lost to the Mavericks, a team that they shouldn't have lost to with as much squad as they had. In 2000, I believe it was 13, they lost to in 2013, they lost to the San Antonio Spurs. Then in 2017, last year, they were fully squatted up and got blown out by the Warriors. 6 years LeBron has gone with squad. He's gone 3-3. That tells you everything you need to know about Jordan versus LeBron. 6-0 when he has squad versus 3-3 when he doesn't have squad. So because of that, I would like to put my word out there to say, LeBron fans, shut up, let it go, and just move on. He's the greatest of his generation. Witness your greatness and be happy with it, but stop trying to compare him or say that he's better than Michael Jordan, because he's not. So I'll end this NBA edition on that. Next week we'll be talking more conference finals on Monday afternoon and leading into the NBA finals. So I hope you guys enjoy your week. Join me again on Friday for Double K's Classroom, where I'll talk baseball and then hockey. And be sure to enjoy the entire lineup here on the 4 Aces Presents Radio Network. Y'all have a great day. I'll catch y'all later.